Hello students, welcome back. So now in this session we'll be discussing the important properties of definite integration, and again I would like to remind you that these properties are extremely important from your examination point of view. Plus I would also like to tell you that the questions are basically based on the application of these properties. So we'll be discussing various properties like integral a to b fx dx is integral a to b ft dt. Integral a to b fx dx is minus of integral b to a fx dx. That means if you want to interchange your limits, you can do so by just putting a negative sign in front of the function, that is the integral of the function. And we should also discuss various such properties, so stay tuned. Okay, so now we'll be beginning the properties of definite integral, and these properties are extremely important and you should be well versed with these properties, just because only if you know the properties will you be able to solve the questions of definite integral, and in fact it becomes quite easy to solve the questions based on the properties. So what are the properties of definite integral, and we shall discuss parallel questions also based on these properties so that you can understand how do we exactly apply these properties in questions. So first property says that integral a to b fx dx is equal to integral a to b ft dt. Second one says integral a to b fx dx is minus integral b to a fx dx. That just means that in case you need to interchange your limits, you will have to put a negative sign in the front of integral and the function. That means if you have, suppose we have integral 0 to 1 some function fx dx, then I can write it as 1 to 0 but with a negative sign, right? So actually these properties prove useful in case of questions where certain times you can have questions in which if you can interchange your limits, it becomes easy to solve the questions, right? The third one says integral a to b fx dx is integral a to c fx dx plus c to b fx dx provided f has piecewise continuity or when f is not uniformly defined in AB. So just notice this thing, that integral is broken at points of either discontinuity or at the points where definition of f changes. You can just break your integral. We have integral a to b fx dx. You will break it either at the points of discontinuity or at the points where the definition of the function is changing. Let us discuss questions based on these. Evaluate integral 0 to pi under root 1 plus cos 2x by 2 dx. Now if you remember, first of all, cos 2x or cos 2 theta can be written as 2 cos square theta minus 1. So firstly I will write it as, see, 1 plus cos 2x becomes 2 cos square, this will be x. 1 plus cos 2x becomes 2 cos square x, and then I have under root 2 cos square x by 2, 2 gets cancelled. So basically I am left with mod of cos x dx, right? So this can be written as 0 to pi by 2 cos x dx plus pi by 2 to pi minus cos x dx. And this is simple integration. This is sin x from 0 to pi by 2 and plus minus sin x pi by 2 to pi, and this becomes 2. So this was sin 90 minus sin 0, plus you will have minus sin pi plus sin 90. So basically it will become 2. So see, this application of properties is also quite simple. Next example that we have is find the value of following integrals, where integral minus 3 to 1 mod of x plus 1 dx. First of all we have this. So this is mod of x plus 1, first of all we will see, is minus of x plus 1 for x is less than equal to minus 1, and it will be x plus 1 for x is greater than minus 1. So basically what you can write is minus 3 to 1 mod of x plus 1 dx, right? This will be equal to minus 3 to minus 1 first of all, and here we will have minus of x plus 1 dx, plus we will have minus 1 to 1 x plus 1 dx. Now you can simply integrate these terms. So I have x plus 1 whole square by 2, and the limits will be from minus 3 to minus 1, plus I will have x plus 1 whole square by 2, and the limit would be from -1 to 1, and in fact this would be with a negative sign. So I have minus of x plus 1 square by 2 minus 3 to minus 1, and just substitute now the limits. So I have minus 1 plus 1 becomes 0, then I'll have minus minus becomes plus, and minus 3 plus 1 is minus 2, and minus 2 whole square becomes 4 by 2, that's 2, plus I'll have 1 plus 1 is 2 square by 2 is 2, minus I'll have 0. So basically I have my result as 4. Right, and what about the second part? Now the second part was integral 0 to pi cos x minus sin x dx. So now we have is integral 0 to pi mod of cos x minus sin x dx. Now again, first of all, mod of cos x minus sin x will be equal to root 2 sin x minus pi by 4, which will be equal to minus root 2 sin x minus pi by 4 for 0 is less than equal to x is less than equal to pi by 4, and that will be equal to root 2 sin x, this is x minus pi by 4, x minus pi by 4 for pi by 4 is less than x is less than equal to pi. Basically, first of all, we'll be reducing this to this form, and this is equal to minus of root 2 sin x minus pi by 4 for x lying between 0 to pi by 4, and it will be equal to positive of sin x minus pi by 4 for x lying between pi by 4 to pi. This is just this step we have obtained using the properties of modulus, right? Now, hence we have, this is now what we are required to prove, 0 to pi integral 0 to pi mod of cos x minus sin x dx. This will be equal to minus root 2 0 to pi by 4 sin of x minus pi by 4 dx, plus it will be root 2 pi by 4 to pi sin of x minus pi by 4 dx, right? So finally now you just need to evaluate this integral, and that is equal to root 2. This will be cos of x minus pi by 4 from 0 to pi by 4, and then we'll have minus root 2, and you have again cos of x minus pi by 4 from pi by 4 to pi. So we have root 2 cos x minus pi by 4 from 0 to pi by 4 minus root 2 cos of x minus pi by 4 from pi by 4 to pi. So finally now just substitute the limits, and we have root 2 cos of 0 minus cos of, we'll have pi by 4, because cos of minus theta is again cos theta, minus root 2, now cos of pi minus pi by 4 minus cos 0. So this gives me root 2, cos 0 is 1 minus cos pi by 4, that's 1 by root 2, and then I will have minus 1 by root 2, and this becomes cos of pi minus pi by 4, and therefore it becomes minus 1 by root 2 minus 1. So finally you will see root 2 plus root 2, 2 root 2, and minus 1 plus 1, so it gets cancelled. Finally we have the result as 2 root 2. The next property that we have is minus integral minus a to a fx dx is equal to 0 to a integral fx plus f minus x dx, and this will be equal to 0 if fx is an odd function, and it will be equal to twice of 0 to a fx dx if fx is even function. So this basically means that minus a to a fx dx is equal to either this or this. It will be 0 in case fx is odd, and twice of 0 to a fx if fx is even function. And this property is extremely important because it helps you in reaching your solution within seconds. Now let us discuss one example based on this property. Show that integral minus half to half greatest integer x plus ln of 1 plus x by 1 minus x dx is minus half. So my I is basically minus half to half. This is minus. My I is basically minus half to half. Greatest integer x plus ln of 1 plus x by 1 minus x dx. Do not get confused in your brackets, right? So this is basically minus half to half. Let me just separate the two terms. So it becomes minus half to half ln of, then I have 1 plus x by 1 minus x dx. Now just see that this is an odd function, right? Now since this is an odd function, this integral would directly be equal to 0. So we have minus half to half this term plus 0 using the property that we have discussed just now. So basically now we are left with this term, and that can be written as minus half to 0, that will be minus 1 dx, plus I will have 0 to half and 0 dx, right? So this basically would be equal to, now this again 0, so minus dx is minus x, that is minus x you need to calculate, and the limits would vary from minus half to 0. So this is equal to minus 0 plus plus, then again minus half, minus half. So your answer is minus half. Now see, until and unless you remember that property we have utilized just now, and you directly substitute the value of this function as 0, you might have got confused and might not get the solution easily, right? So just be well versed with these properties, attempt a very good number of questions based on these properties, so that these properties are on your fingertips, and just by seeing at the question you can realize which property are you required to use. Next property is integral a to b fx dx is integral a to b f of a plus b minus x dx, or integral 0 to a fx dx is 0 to a f of a minus x. This is also important. Next we have is 0 to 2a fx dx is integral 0 to a fx dx plus integral 0 to a f of 2a minus x dx, and this will be equal to 0 if f of 2a minus x is minus fx, and it will be equal to twice of 0 to a fx dx if f of 2a minus x is fx. Let us discuss the question based on this. Evaluate integral 50 to 100 ln x by ln x plus ln 150 minus x dx. My I is 50 to 100 ln x by ln x plus ln 150 minus x dx. This is what I have. So now using P5, that is property 5, I can write x as 100 plus 50 minus x. X can be written as a plus b minus x, so a plus b minus x. So I can be written as, this will be 50 to 100 ln of 150 minus x by ln of 150 minus x plus ln x dx. This is what I have. So finally I have I plus I. If I do, I just add this and this, so I'll get it as ln x plus ln 150 minus x, denominator is same, ultimately I have 1 dx, and that is equal to x 50 to 100, 100 minus 50, 50, right? So okay, most of the students commit as silly mistake is, most of you might, once you get well versed with the properties, you might read this step easily and you might mark your answer as 50, but that would be incorrect. Why? Just notice that what I have done is I have calculated I plus I. That means I have obtained my 2I as 50. So finally my I is 25. The value of this integral is 25 and not 50. Okay, so the next question that we have is evaluate integral 0 to pi by 2 dx by 1 plus sine x, right? So in this, my I is 0 to pi by 2 dx by 1 plus sine x. Now Again, what I can do is I can write it as dx plus by 1 plus sine 0 plus pi by 2 minus x, that is a plus b minus x. So that becomes 90 minus x. So this basically becomes 0 to pi by 2 dx by 1 plus cos x. So once I have it as 0 to pi by 2 dx by 1 plus cos x, you can just simply integrate and you have it as half of 0 to pi by 2 sec square x by 2 dx. Now this is using again this property, this formula. We have cos 2 theta is 2 cos square theta minus 1. So 1 plus cos theta becomes 2 cos square theta by 2. So we have half 1 by cos square theta by 2, that is sec square theta by 2. So integral of sec square x by 2 dx. This can be written as half of tan x by 2 by again half 0 to pi by 2. Now half will get cancelled and you have tan 90 minus tan 0. Sorry, it will become x by 2 instead of x by 2. Now we will substitute in place of x as 90 and then we will have it as 0. And so you get the result as 1. So half of tan x by 2 by half gets cancelled. We have tan x by 2 0 to pi by 2. So now we will substitute in place of x pi by 2 and so we will get the result as 1. Next question says I is 0 to 2 pi sin 4x dx is equal to k 0 to pi by 2 cos 4x dx. Then find the value of k. So we are basically required to find out the value of k. Now in this, let first of all my fx is sin 4x dx. Again I will be utilizing those properties only. So then what about f of 0 plus 2 pi minus x, that is f of a plus b minus x, that will be f of 2 pi minus x, and that will be equal to sin 4 2 pi minus x, and that will be equal to my fx again. So therefore using property 6, I is twice of 0 to pi sin 4x dx. Now what I have got is using property 6, now I is twice of 0 to pi sin 4x dx. So again using property 6, I would be equal to 4 times 0 to pi by 2. Why am I using the property 6 again and again? Because on the right hand side I have k times 0 to pi by 2 cos 4x. So I need the limits in the form of pi by 2. I need the limits as 0 to pi by 2. So again I am utilizing this property and I have 4 times 0 to pi by 2 sin 4x dx. Therefore now using property 5, now I becomes 4 times 0 to pi by 2 cos 4x dx. Right? So I have I as 4 times 0 to pi by 4. 4 times 0 to pi by 2 cos 4x dx, and my RHS is k times 0 to pi by 2 cos 4x dx. So comparing this with RHS, you have the value of k as 4 and therefore your answer is 4. Now we have the next property that says 0 to nt fx dx is n times 0 to t fx dx, where f of t plus x is fx and n belongs to I. Now just see, you will understand it with the help of example. Show that 0 to 1000 e raised to x minus greatest integer x dx is 1000 e minus 1. So my I is 0 to 1000 e raised to x minus greatest integer x dx. This is my I. So this is equal to 1000 and I have 0 to 1 e raised to x minus greatest integer x dx. Since e raised to x minus this has period 1. So just see, this property is basically in fact based on the period of a function only. So since this has period 1, so I can write it as 1000 times 0 to 1 e raised to x minus greatest integer x dx. So this will be equal to 1000 times 0 to 1 e raised to x dx, and so I have 1000 and then just simply integrate it, and so we have e raised to x 0 to 1, e raised to x integral is again e raised to x, so simply put the limits, and so we have e raised to 1 minus e raised to 0. So finally we have it as 1000 e minus 1. Now just practice a good number of questions, this will be 1000, good number of questions on again properties of definite integral, and you should be well versed with the properties. Only then can you expect yourself to be able to do the questions in your exams. If you have got any kind of queries on the topic, you can post it for free on our discussion board of askiitians.com. For doing so, just go to the website askiitians.com, go to the discussion board, and as soon as you select the option of discussion board, on the right hand side you will see the column Ask Experts. In that you can select the category of the question, for example say algebra, and just post your question. You can also attach any kind of image with the question. Then just click on Get Answer, and the Ask IITians experts will give you the answer within the duration of 24 to 48 hours. Well, I hope you must have understood the important properties of definite integration, and again I would like to remind you, do practice a very good number of questions based on application of these properties so that you are able to master the questions. Now in the next session we will be switching to the other important properties, like we shall discuss the Leibniz rule and we shall discuss definite integral as limit of sum. So stay tuned.